You are coming with me into London today with the MacBook Neo and the iPhone 17e. I'm going to be using the 17e to hotspot to the Mac, and we're going to see how this MacBook Neo performs throughout the course of a day in London. Now, you're starting off with me here at home in my old studio, and I am going to take a screenshot of the Mac this time to show that we are starting off at 9:58 with 100% battery. Last week I made a mistake of leaving without full charging it, so we've got a full charge on the Mac this time. It's had a few good charge cycles as well, so hopefully today we're going to get a better idea of how this thing performs. And also I've got a few things I'm going to mention about the iPhone 17e as well. So, time for me to get packed, get on the train and get to London. I've not really used the MacBook Air all that much yet, so there's no point me giving you an update on the battery. We'll check in on that a little bit later on. Now, in the last video, a lot of you are asking why would I trade in the MacBook Air to buy the Neo? Well, for starters, I only need one portable laptop. Also, financial. Everything you see me review here on the channel, I buy, and it gets really, really expensive. So I decided to use Apple's trading program to help me buy the MacBook Neo, because equally I need to make relevant, up-to-date videos for you so you know what this new kit is like. So that's why I traded it in. But when you begin looking at the Neo versus the Air, there's some choices to be made. First of all, the money. The Neo starts at approximately half the price. It starts at £600, the MacBook Air starts at £1,100. Yes, I know that the MacBook Air does have the M5 chip in it, it's got more cores, a larger battery and more RAM, but the Neo and the MacBook Air have some similarities as well. For instance, they both have the same liquid retina displays, the same brightness, and they weigh exactly the same too. At the end of the day, both the MacBook Air and the MacBook Neo are both super powerful notebooks. So only you'll know if that extra £400 for the MacBook Air is worth spending or not. You need to choose the Mac that's right for your workflow. When you begin to see videos saying there's issues or problems with the Neo, be very, very wary. They are clickbait. They are just trying to make an issue. Look, when you buy Neo, it's a Mac. Mac OS, it's going to work. It's going to work out of the box, and I've loved using it for this past week. It's been my main Mac over this past week. How have I been using it? Well, I did one very, very, very simple Final Cut export in it, which I might do later on today for my daily vlog, but I won't generally be using it that way. The rest of the week, I've just done general admin work on it. One of the things I wasn't too keen on was the keyboard. Now, it worked just fine. I thought I was going to hate the trackpad. The trackpad is actually really clicky and quick. It's no perceivable difference to the other trackpads I've used on other Macs. The problem with the keyboard to me is it just feels a little bit cramped. Now, I know that's because it is a 13-inch portable notebook. I get that. But I find it more comfortable using the keyboard on the iPad with the Magic Keyboard. The reason being that the Magic Keyboard sits very flat to the desk. With the Neo, you've got that edge. You've got, I suppose, 8mm thickness, and I just find it cutting into the edge of my hand as I'm typing. Yes, I've got fairly big hands, and that could just be a personal thing. The keys are fine to type on. The lack of a backlit keyboard, again, a little bit of an issue. Now, that's probably my fault because I'm not a touch typist, so I have to look at the keys to type. So I guess that's more a fault of mine, but I have found the lack of the backlit keyboard almost like a backward step. It feels like going back in time. And the other thing I got around to trying over the weekend was the speakers. They're disappointing. they're really tinny. Now, you can't beat the laws of physics. It's a tiny little machine. The speakers are sideways facing. It's decent stereo, and I guess if you were just wanting some background music playing quietly during the day, it would be all right for that. But honestly, they're quite thin, they're quite tinny, and the physics of it is you just haven't got much space in there, so you're not going to get great speakers. Most of the time, if I was using this, like when I'm in London today, sitting down and eating some lunch, which I'm going to do in a minute, then I'll use AirPods. It's the most obvious thing to do. So the speakers aren't great, the keyboard I've got issues with, but other than that, this Neo over the past week has been brilliant. Really, really good to use. The battery on MacBook Neo continues to be a concern for me. I hadn't used it at all until I sat down for lunch, and then I was on it for about an hour, just doing some fairly light work. I edited the photo that's on the screen right now. I did some emailing, looked at my notes for this video, that kind of thing, nothing heavy at all. And we're down to around about 60%, so that is still a concern for me. In the UK, we don't get a charger in the box with the Neo, but the 20-watt charging capacity on the battery in this MacBook Neo does actually charge up pretty quickly. The fastest way I found to get it to charge is actually using one of the old dual-port 35-watt bricks that I got with one of my MacBook Airs, and as I say, it actually does charge up pretty quickly. The two ports on the Neo are very different speeds. Remember I got that dialog box, that pop-up box last week? The port at the back, the one nearest the hinge, that's the fastest of the two. That's USB 3 speeds, that'll give you 10 gigs per second. The other port is only USB 2, and that'll only give you a very miserly 480 gigs per second. Also, the brightness on this on the display on the Neo, it is a 500 nit display, but for some reason it doesn't feel like it's a 500 nit display, and I don't know why. There is a setting that I've made which has helped it. I'll show you that in just a moment. But when I was working on it over lunch, it wasn't direct sunlight, it was just bright light, and it was just struggling. One of the things I did that helped though was to go into your settings, go to displays, and then uncheck automatically adjust brightness. That at least means you're getting the full punch out of the display. That's a preference I prefer. See what you think, it must make a big difference. Something else I also hate is the way that the display dims when it's on battery. There's something you can do to stop that as well. You need to go back into settings, go to battery options, slightly dim the display on battery, make sure that is unchecked. Done other things this week on the Neo to make it feel like mine as well. I've added email signatures, I've imported some settings for Final Cut, some of my keyboard settings, and also silly things like in emails I prefer the latest email to be at the top of the thread. So little things like that I've adjusted just to make sure it feels like mine this time round. But the battery does continue to be a concern. The display, don't know why it just doesn't feel bright enough. And the keyboard issue, I think the keyboard issue is just me. It's okay, it's just not quite as comfortable as the one that's on the Magic Keyboard on the iPad. I said at the beginning of the video we were going to talk a little bit about the iPhone 17e, which still continues to amaze me. The battery just goes on and on and on. I've been out all day today using it for sat-nav to get around London, and it's still at 50% at the moment. It is just phenomenal. And all of that is while I'm running a beta. I haven't mentioned that, I'm running a beta on this, and it's still getting that kind of performance. I've spent some time decluttering my home screen, so there's as fewer distractions as possible, and I've got this lovely new wallpaper on there as well, which just, I don't know, makes it look really clean and aesthetic. It's just a beautiful, beautiful phone to use, and having it in London today weighs next to nothing. It's a perfect setup. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I was showing you some photos that I'd taken with the iPhone 17e, and some of you are interested as to what settings I was actually using for photo styles. I'm using something called Rich Warm, and I found dropping it down to about -40 on the tone and around about 80 on the warmth gives some lovely results. I say I normally just tap the focus, drop the exposure a little bit, and I get some lovely results out of this, which is all I want from the phone these days. I've been walking around London all day shooting with the Canon. I've left one picture on the video already. I'll probably leave you another picture now showing the kind of shots I'm getting out of my days as a photographer in London. But the combination of the Neo and the 17e, it's cracking. Something happened the other night after I'd finished filming, and I just wanted to share it with you. I'm really, really annoyed at myself. I'd got off the train, I was getting into my car, and I'd left the zip open on the pocket that the MacBook Neo was in, and it fell, well, maybe only 20mm, onto a fairly soft concrete, but it's left me with this nasty little ding. Hopefully you can see that. And I'm really, really annoyed at myself. There's a couple of other little scratches as well, but that was the main corner. And as I say, it was a very, very soft, slow, gentle fall as well. I mean, I'm just annoyed at myself more than anything, but it does feel very soft. So I just wanted to point that out to you. Be ultra, ultra cautious, promise me, when you're out with your MacBook Neo. But here's the thing. I used to just sit in the studio with these things and keep them absolutely perfect. But that's not how these Macs are designed to be used. They're meant to be mobile, portable devices. So these kind of things are going to happen. I'd have expected it to be a little bit tougher than that. So promise me, just be really cautious with your MacBook Neo. Working with these two devices in London today, the MacBook Neo and the iPhone 17e, has been a real pleasure. It's just shown me how much you can get done on the fly with two of the more affordable devices in Apple's lineup. Basically, the video you're watching has been made completely whilst I've been out in London. And that's remarkable, it really is. The benefit of having the Neo with me was that I could check on the files for this video. So I brought an SD card reader with me, and then every time I stopped and recorded, like I'll do in just a moment, I'll take this file off, put it on the Mac, just open it up in quick time to check that the audio's okay and the colour's basically okay, and it's great peace of mind. And as you know, I've been hotspotting from the 17e to the Neo all day, which is what's made me be online, being able to edit and upload things. And also, it's just worth pointing out that Apple have really nailed it this year. It's almost as if they read the room, like they had a seat at the top table and knew that there was going to be economically hard times ahead of us. And suddenly they brought out these great two affordable devices. And they've lowered the bar to entry. Now, say you start using the 17e and you start taking photos and you'll find you're really enjoying it. Before you know it, you buy a camera, which is pretty much what happened to me. Then by owning the cheapest iPhone that Apple makes, new, you suddenly found a passion for photography. And then let's say you've been taking some videos with the 17e of a holiday that you're on, or maybe of your children, and you start to edit it in iMovie, and then you buy Final Cut and you start to make videos, and before you know it, you've got a channel on YouTube. That's the kind of lowering the bar to entry that Apple have done this year. I think we need to stand back and actually say, applaud them. They've done something really smart and really, really special with these two devices. As I say, working with the day in London, it's been faultless. Yes, I have got concerns about the battery life on the Neo. I checked it a moment ago, it's about 10 past 6-ish, and we're down to about 35%, but don't forget it hasn't been used a lot. Really, all it's been used for, other than at lunchtime, is just for me putting an SD card reader into it and dumping some files on. That's all it's been used for. Maybe the battery life can get improved with an update, but I'm not going to come down on it. I'm not going to dunk on it, because I think it's remarkable what I've been able to get done in London today with the 17E and with the Neo in particular. I'd love to know how you're getting on if you've bought a Neo and how you're finding it, and is it opening up doors of creativity that you didn't know were there for you? Let me know. If you've enjoyed my walk around London today, and I really hope you have, it's such a fantastic capital city. I love being able to show it to you and show you some of the sights and also some of the pictures I've taken today while I've been walking around making this video. And if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget, a sub really does help me out. It just helps buy the train ticket to get me into London more than anything. And if you've enjoyed me talking about the 17E, I'm going to leave a video for you to watch now where I show you what it's like in a real world test for a full day.